Hi, it's Jane, and I'm telling you, sometimes I wonder what my cats are up to. I think they're crazy. Um, the cats have a habit of bringing me things that I'm not real sure why they bring them to me. Um, this was a poinsettia little coaster trivet that we had made years ago at the senior center. I have no idea where they even found it. So, what are you going to do with cats, right? They are crazy critters, definitely. Okay, I do have a couple of finished items. And I think I had told you about these hats, but I don't think I actually showed them to you. So, okay. Like I said, I had told you about this hat, but I really didn't show it to you. And these are the little hats. It's the fairy flower hat. And I am doing it in cream and of course that green. Now, these petals are supposed to curl up with the way she has you do the pattern, but they're not curling up. So I am going to have to force them to do that. And they're, basically this sits on the newborn's head and then the little flower petals come up like this. So I am going to have to force those to curl up the way they're supposed to. She has you have the wrong side facing you in doing a single crochet, and they are not pulling them up. However, I have an idea that instead of doing single crochet, that if I actually have the right side facing me and do a slip stitch, it will bring that up. I am going to try that on the next hat that I make. I've got 4 done altogether, and I'm not really thrilled with because the petals are not turning up the way she says they should. And I have taken and gone down a hook size, down to like a 2.25 hook size. It's not making it curl. So, I actually have no idea how she got hers to curl. I just know that they are not curling at all for me. So that's another, got to work on it. And I did finish off my baby blanket, that sampler. And what I did is I put a couple rows of, I actually did where I tried to straighten out the edges like I normally do. Got them fairly straight. And then I did put a crochet ribbing around it, about 2 or 3 rows, I think. And yeah, so I'm calling it finished. I do need to wash it, so I am going to wash that, and hopefully that'll block it a little bit further. And with it, I used 4 full skeins of the Soft and Sleek Baby, and approximately maybe a third of a fifth. So I do have some left, and I think I had purchased a total of 10 skeins. So I do have another, 5 and portion that I can put into another project sometime, and I will do that later at some point. Now, that is kind of where it's at with that part. I have been, just since yesterday, started working on the back side of my sweater, which I was there the last time. and I've gotten that much more done. I do have a bit more to finish on it, and I think I need to get to about 20 inches before I start the sleeves, and I'm probably about 10, so I've got to work really hard and diligently on that. I did get a couple of things, though, this week, and one of them, I was at our Dollar Tree, and my Dollar Tree, I've never seen these kits before. I've been looking for them, but this is the only kit that they actually had, and I thought I would give it a shot, so we'll see how that goes. I had to go to Hobby Lobby to get some fabric, and while I was there, they had the macrame. This one was on sale for, I think, 40% off, and I thought, you know, I used to love doing the micro macrame, so I thought I would pick that up. And then while I was there, I noticed that they had discounted this. This is a unisex loungewear, 5 easy pieces. Basically, I got it to make short sets for children for the Operation Christmas Child. That is something that I have made before. Put those in the boxes along with a couple of other things. You know, just a couple of shirts and a short set, and then, you know, books, like notebooks for school, pencils, papers. Generally, I can get in a water bottle in there, and that is where I put all the pens, pencils, erasers, knickknacks that would go for school that I can fit into that. You just open it up, put them in there, and that's a good thing to do. The water bottles are something that is highly loved and adored, you know, in many of the third world countries, because water is such a vital thing to stay alive. So having a water bottle allows them to carry water with them wherever they go. But some of the other things that you might consider is, you know, both Walmart and Dollar Tree, usually in the summer, start bringing out small bowls with utensils in them that can be reused. Plastic. Yeah, you don't want to put plastic out there, but make sure it's BPA free, and you're probably good to go. And most of the U.S. Pretty much bans that, so you can easily see on the label whether it is. But that is something that is also cherished by a lot of children who have nothing. So, and I try to do often throw in also some of what they call pillowcase dresses. I know this is a touchy subject. However, many young girls in many third world countries do not have dresses to cover themselves up, and they are sexually targeted. Having a dress many times will prevent them from being sexually targeted. And that goes all the way up from itty bitties to teens. So you might want to consider possibly getting some simple cotton pillowcase dresses. They're very easy to make, to sew. Not only that, but you just want to make sure that it's not see-through. If it is see-through from the hips down, add some ruffles to the outside so that it's not see-through from their hips down. Those are some suggestions for the Operation Christmas Child. So, those were a couple of acquisitions that I'd purchased along the way, just because they were there. It was a nice price, and it adds to my repertoire to add in to make things for the Operation Christmas Child. Many times I will take a lot of these fabrics that I've been given and create shorts, short sets, and then put a knit top to it, or even just a t-shirt. And if you shop carefully, you will find many times that Walmart towards the end of the season has those t-shirts for children up to teens extremely cheap for like $1, 50 cents to $1. I have picked up several shorts for even teens and t-shirts at Walmart for 50 cents a piece. So those are some things to look for as the summer season ends for next year's. Some of the tips that I will give you if you are interested in doing Operation Christmas Child is, I do have a couple of totes back there in the office room, the office that I use for office, whatnot. But in that, I have several totes that are dedicated to just Operation Christmas Child. So that if I'm at Walmart and they have spiral notebooks or even the composition notebooks for a quarter, 50 cents, I'll pick up quite a few, put them in there. So I know that I can give those out, put those in the shoe boxes, toys, all kinds of toys. I would try to stay away from cheaply made toys. Lots of times I've gotten several plastic balls and have taken the air out of them, and then I just need to add an air pump with them. I can't remember the website. I'll try to see if I can find it and link it down below. But there is a website where you can purchase the air pumps very cheaply, and this can go in there because balls are a big hit there as well as making hacky sacks. We can crochet those. I would put it into either an organza, small organza bag, like what I would put in the small organza bag are pony beads or the poly beads, so that it gives the weight that you need for a hacky sack. Stuffing it with stuffing is not good, so you do need either pony beads or poly beads. You just need to make sure that you put a note on it saying that it has poly beads or pony beads on the interior of the hacky sacks. The pony beads are a cheaper option to the poly beads, but put them in a small organza bag, tie them up in a small piece of pantyhose. You know, I've showed you how I have cut knee-high pantyhose in half to put them around my cakes of yarn. You can also cut them much smaller and tie those into small hacky sacks that you can place into your crocheted hacky sack. So those are some ideas for Operation Christmas Child. And I think that's about it, other than, I'm planning on working on this. I had shown you when I wound the yarn that I had taken those greens, one-off greens. I'm going to put those together to make an afghan, and I am in the planning stages for it. I thought about just doing a regular granny blanket, but I think I want to do something different, so I'm going to play with it and see what works. It will be more of a rectangle because I do want it to, fit different sizes, lapgans, those kind of things. That is my goal with that. Yeah, so that's about it. What I'm doing for goals, other than I am trying to work up a few videos for my sewing channel. I have ignored it way too long, so I'm working on those as well. And trying to get this house settled and things put away. I have to tell you right now, it's a mess. So yeah, I will tell you that this week I had a crown fall out of my tooth, out of my mouth. Luckily, I didn't swallow the crown. It didn't break. However, when I was telling my son, he said, "Wow, you didn't swallow the tooth." I said, "No, I still have it, post and all." He said, "Post? Mom, they don't put crowns on post." Well, they did in mine. It is on a post. So he goes, "Well, that's not a crown, Mom." That's an implant. No, this is a little different. I don't know why they did it that way, and I will ask the dentist because I thought my crown was going to be a general crown that they would put on top of whatever tooth they did the root canal in. So, yeah. Anyway, at the point that I'd called the dentist, I was told that my appointment, the earliest they could get me in was May the 17th, and then they called back a few minutes later to tell me they could get me in this Tuesday, the 30th. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, are you ready for a little what in Tarnation? You know, we have a rather interesting world that we live in, and certain things are interesting the way that they work. Did you know there's gold in Antarctica? Active volcano in Antarctica spews tiny crystals of gold worth $6,000 a day. How many of us are going to flock to Antarctica? It's awful cold there. It sounds like a dream, but it's true in Antarctica. Gold rains from the sky. Tucked in among the glaciers, fiery Mount Erebus is the southernmost active volcano on Earth, providing a bit of heat amid the frozen landscape. The frozen continent features 138 volcanoes, according to a 2017 study, with around 9 of them reported as active. With a summit elevation of 12,448 feet, Mount Erebus is the most well-known. Erebus is one of 3 volcanoes that form Ross Island, and it's said that it was erupting when it was discovered in 1841 during the voyage of Captain James Clark Ross, who carried out important magnetic surveys in the Arctic and Antarctica and discovered the Ross Sea and the Victoria Land region of Antarctica. HMS Erebus was the name of one of his ships. Find that rather interesting too. Scientists still observe the volcano through the Mount Erebus Volcano Observatory and conduct field campaigns to look for extreme life forms. The largest Antarctica settlement, McMurdo Station, operated by the United States, is located about 25 miles south of Mount Erebus and is within sight of the volcano. It says 25 south. It doesn't say miles. I put in miles there. Satellite images of the volcano revealed a lava lake that's been bubbling since at least 1972, according to the IFL Science. The volcano regularly pumps out plumes of gas and steam and has been known to eject boulders of partially molten rock known as volcanic bombs. While volcanic bombs are exciting, it's the burst of gas spraying tiny crystals of metallic gold that surprise scientists, who estimate the volcano spews around 80 grams of gold a day. That's worth around $6,000. Gold has been found hundreds of miles away from Mount Erebus. Antarctica researchers have detected traces of gold dust in ambient air up to 621 miles away from the volcano. I think that's interesting. Hoofed hilarity. 5 odd tales of goated goats. Not all of these have links, but there are a couple that do have some video links. The UPI Odd News headlines often play host animals, including bears, alligators, cows, and snakes, but only one animal can truly be called the greatest of all time, the humble goat. Whether they're climbing bridges, hitting the highway, or overrunning an Italian island, we here can't get enough of these majestic creatures, and neither, we assume, can our readers. With that bold assumption, here are 5 examples of goated goats doing whatever it is that they do best. Take my goats. Please, take them. The goats that have occupied the island of Alacuti in Sicily's Aeolian archipelago have become a tourist draw since a wild population was established about 20 years ago. But the island's mayor said the happy honeymoon has now become a horned horror. Mayor Ricardo Gulo said the goat population is now six times the human population of about 100, leading the bleeding blighters to invade residents' homes and gardens. To reduce the overpopulation, Gulo introduced a Adopt a Goat program, allowing any island visitor to take a goat home for free, aside from a $17 processing fee. Anyone can make a request for a goat. Doesn't have to be a farmer, and there are no restrictions on numbers, Gulo said. So if you're looking for a goat, you don't mind paying for transportation, hit 'em up. One mountain goat, Gruff. And this is a story I talked to you about, I think it was last week or maybe the week before. Firefighters and animal rescues teamed up in Kansas City, Missouri, when an escaped mountain goat made its way to East 63rd and Lewis Road Bridge to do what he does best, climb. The goat, initially identified as Jeffrey, ended up stranded on a ledge located underneath the roadway. But about 80 feet above the ground, a civilian rescuer managed to get a rope around Jeffrey, but when firefighters were bailed down to reach him, he tried to jump to another ledge and missed. Jeffrey was suspended from the rope for a short time before falling to the ground, where padding had been placed to ease his landing. The resilient goat was not injured. The goat's saga took one more unexpected turn when it turned out his original name was Chug, and he had been stolen from a farm in February before ending up at a shelter where he was adopted and named Jeffrey. Officials said the dual-named goat will be returned to his original owner. That's a great follow-up to this story because we didn't have that information. And there's video. Unauthorized goat parade. An Arlington, Texas neighborhood descended into horn-headed havoc when a herd of 200 escaped goats came marching down the street to feast on their gardens. The Arlington Police Department said the goats were employed by the city to clear plants such as poison ivy and poison oak from the Crystal Canyon natural area, but they somehow managed to get out of their fenced enclosure. Officers and animal wranglers responded to the scene to round up the hungry herd and return them to the natural area. I can't promise plants weren't eaten that weren't supposed to be eaten, but no goats were injured, said Michael DeBrecht, the city's assistant director of Parks and Recreation. And there's video. And actually, it's police cam where they're actually rounding up the goats and talking with people as they're doing it. Kind of funny. Rooftop rodeo. Firefighters in Glendale, Arizona said a goat on the roof may not be the name of the hit new Broadway musical, but it's occasionally a part of their job. The Glendale Fire Department said crews were called to lend a helping hoof when an adventurous goat ended up a little too high on a home. Photos from the rooftop rodeo show firefighters climbing up on the roof to bring the goat back down to earth. And I believe there are some photos on Instagram, but you'd have to search for those. And the grateful goat was returned to its owner. And of course, there are no other links. Three cows lead Kansas police on a hoof-chase. 3 cows escaped from their farm in Kansas and led police on a chase for quite a while. The Shawnee Police Department posted photos to Facebook showing the 3 cows evading officers this week in Shawnee. This trio hooked it for quite a while near Midland and Moore Road before finally hoofing it back home with the help of our officers and citizens, the post said. The department said its officers and those in nearby communities have had quite the stretch of animal calls recently, including calls about cows, goats, snakes, hawks, and ducklings. This next story is rather interesting. These happen once in a while. Florida Golden Retriever gives birth to lime green puppy. A Golden Retriever puppy quickly gained fame online when she was born, a color far different from the breed's golden reputation, lime green. Carol DeBruler, owner of Florida's Golden Treasures Kennel, posted videos of the puppy named Shamrock to TikTok, where the cute canine quickly developed a following. Shamrock was born lime green, appropriate for a dog born in the key lime state, while the rest of her siblings were the expected golden hue. The unusual color is a result of the puppy's fur being dyed by biliverdin, a green bile sometimes found in the wombs of mothers' dogs. This phenomenon has been documented before and isn't limited to golden retrievers. A Nova Scotia couple's bulldog puppy was born the same color in 2022. Jabruler said Shamrock's green color has started to fade, and she will likely be the breed's normal color, yellow, within a few weeks. Are there any of you who have not seen any of the Star Wars movies? Would you like to make $1,000? Here's your opportunity. Star Wars novice sought to watch 9 films for $1,000. A financial advice website is seeking someone who has never seen a single Star Wars movie to watch every film in the Skywalker saga and make $1,000 in the process. Finance Buzz announced it is celebrating the upcoming Star Wars Day, aka May the 4th, by paying someone $1,000 to watch all 9 of the Skywalker saga films. We're looking for someone who's brand new to the franchise, a first-timer to the Force, a true young Jedi, to rate and evaluate the saga from an outsider's perspective, the posting states. We'll use our Wookiees Rookies analysis for an upcoming story on the franchise. The website said the chosen candidate will watch each episode in release order, starting in chronological order by release date. You'll make your way from episode 4, A New Hope, all the way to episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And if you're wondering why we didn't start with episode 1, you're probably the right person for our job, Finance Buzz said. The Star Wars side hustle pays $1,000 plus $100 toward the cost of streaming the films and going to see episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in theaters for its upcoming 25th anniversary re-release. Applications are being accepted on the website through the end of the day, May 4th. And that is financebuzz.com/wars/side/hustle. So there is a link down below for that if you're interested. And that is it for the What in Tarnation. Are you ready for a little devotional? I know I am. I can use it. This week has been interesting, to say the least. The devotions are coming from Promises from God's Heart, comforting truth for your every need. And this is a Dayspring book. I did get it at Ollie's, so let's get into it. Promises from God's Heart for healing. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your body and refreshment to your bones. Proverbs 3, 7 through 8. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40, 31. But Jesus was pierced because of our transgressions, crushed because of our iniquities. Punishment for our peace was on him, and we are healed by his wounds. Isaiah 53, 5. My roots will have access to water, and the dew will rest on my branches all night. My strength will be refreshed within me, and my bow will be renewed in my hand. Job 29, 19 through 20. If my people will humble themselves and pray and search for me and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear them from heaven and forgive their sins and heal their land. I will listen wide awake to every prayer made in this place. 2 Chronicles 7, 14 through 15. Therefore, we do not give up. Even though our outer person is being destroyed, our inner person is being renewed day by day. 2 Corinthians 4:16. Isn't that true? As our body's falling apart, our inner strength is renewed. In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling. Exodus 15, verse 13. And that is it for the devotional. And we're done. As always, be a little kinder to yourself, be kinder to one another, love one another. See what this beautiful world has in store for us. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. Izzy, what are you staring at?